can't do shit with this. I'm like, hey, a refund of $50. That's how about the? Oh my god.
Just what I needed.
Exactly. So, obviously the one that I'm really wanting to get is the location that I was at from June to December. So I'm like, if you guys could just hurry up and send me that one so that I could actually do my taxes and get my refund, that'd be great.
Hey, Hachiman. Okay. So we're only gonna go for like an hour, and then we're gonna switch over to Demon's Souls because I was able to fix my PS5 controllers.
Hooray.
Ooh, help me, Dr. Zayas.
So that reminds me, actually, you said you were saying that James Cameron was intending to do a Planet of the Apes remake, but he kicked so much ass with Titanic that he said, "Screw this! I'm just gonna take a little while off until I can make Avatar."
Basically, yeah. At one point,
And
he was
Arnold,
attached to it.
right? And Arnold Schwarzenegger was gonna make the movie. He was gonna play Dr. Sayers.
No, he was gonna play the astronaut. Your paws off me, you dirty ape.
I can see.
That is such a weird song, by the way, Rock Me Amadeus.
Yeah, I am in agreement.
Have you seen that the fan sitting courtside behind the Miami Heat bench was telling the players about the Butler trade?
No, I didn't. That's awesome.
Yeah, the players did not know.
Well, I don't blame the players for not knowing because Jimmy's actually torpedoed so many offers that even if they were aware that another offer was being discussed, they wouldn't just immediately assume that it was going to go through.
Yeah, I'm surprised what changed his mind about Golden State.
Here's what I think. One of two things happened. Either his agent told him, this is the absolute best you're going to get and the deadline is tomorrow. We need to pull the trigger on this while they're willing before they change their minds. So either that happened, or he only said that he wasn't going to sign an extension because the extension they offered him wasn't as much as he wanted, and then they caved because the Warriors also really wanted to make a move before the deadline. So, either Jimmy caved or Golden State caved, but somebody changed their mind.
It is not a bad
And
trade for Miami, in my opinion.
I agree because the truth is I don't think it's as much as we could have gotten if we did it in the off season. And that's not just because of how things have already gone this season, but it's because the Luka trade, the immediate after effect of that for the whole league is that everyone's going to be really, really shy about pulling the trigger on anything because they're going to be worried that they're getting fucked. So the Michael Bridges trade we saw, where the Nets got an absolute king's ransom out of that trade, we're not going to see that for at least a couple years. Because everyone's going to be like, am I just getting Nico Harrison here? And, and especially ownership, they're going to be like, I don't want people to make fun of me. Oh, I wish that we could have gotten more, and we probably would have if we made this move in the offseason. But for the time being, yeah, I think that's the best we could have done. I really wish that we could have kept Dennis Schroeder. He's probably making too much money, so we weren't able to. But we've really needed a true point guard for a long time. Lowry was fulfilling that role, since we lost Dragic, and he was decent enough at it. But that's super washed Lowry, who's like 40. That being said, we still made the finals with him as our starting point guard, so it's not like he did a terrible job, but we've needed a younger guy to fulfill that role, and that's a real big reason why Hero was struggling so much over the last few seasons, is because Spo was trying like hell to get him to work in that position, and he just can't. Hero is a chucker, he's not a distributor.
Right.
So if we could have kept Schroeder, that would have been huge for us. Way more important than Wiggins. But whatever.
I don't think the Heat are thinking about this current season all that much anymore. I think they're just thinking about...
Oh yeah, because Pat Riley's come out and said it a number of times, and it's been really funny, as it's had to click for a lot of different Heat fans. 2026 is the hope. And what's more is that if Luka's not happy in LA, the odds that we can actually sign him have increased substantially. Because that was always a long shot when he was in Dallas, because he was going to sign the Supermax. We can't offer him $350 million. The Mavs could. The Mavs just traded him, and now he can't get the Supermax from anybody. The Lakers can't offer him more money than anyone else can, so the only reason he'd stay there is because he wanted to be there. But he doesn't have any connection with the location. He doesn't have any connection with the franchise. So the only question would be whether or not he made good relationships in that time. And if he does, then he'll probably stay. If he doesn't, then he could easily leave. Because he's got nothing tying him down there.
He's going to love throwing alley-oops to Bronny. Did you know Bronny has the lowest field goal percentage of any player in NBA history that qualifies?
That sounds like exactly what was expected, because obviously the kid's not horrible enough to where he's incapable of ever scoring a point. So people being like Bronny would never score a basket, that's just not true. Because guys like Brian Scalabrine could score, but like Brian Scalabrine said, I'm closer to LeBron than you are to me when he was talking to some random guy on the street. Mm-hmm. And Bronny, he's more athletic than the average guy, so that, if we plucked you and I and, popped us into a random NBA game, the odds we actually score a basket ever are extremely low. They're extremely low for Bronny, too, but he can at least do it. However, yeah, the kid never should have gotten this far, so hearing that he's got the lowest field goal percentage in NBA history of anybody who qualifies, that's pretty much exactly what I expected, because, USC doesn't have the best program in the world. They only took him because he's LeBron's son, and even then, he wasn't even good enough to play more than a couple of minutes every game, and he's the only player I've ever seen in a televised basketball game that had to look at the ball as he was dribbling it. Occasionally, he shows flashes of good fundamentals, which just shows you, how surrounded by talent he is. But even then, there's a limit. But yeah, the Lakers are all in for this 1 year, but the thing is, I don't think it's going to be good enough because AD was actually really important for them to be as competitive as they are. They've got, no bigs now. Luka's an incredible player, but if he could win it all by himself, he would have done it last year.
I mean, at this point, isn't Luka basically rich man LeBron?
Yeah.
They both do the same thing.
Essentially, yes. So, Luka's an exciting player. He's a great player. He could easily be the best player on a championship team. He could easily be the best player on a dynasty. I don't know what the fuck the Mavs were thinking. But If he was enough to win a championship by himself, he would have done it last year. So the Lakers are all in on this 1 year. They're probably not going to get it because they, their roster just has no cohesion. LeBron's probably done after this year. I don't know why he'd stay on for longer. And then, yeah, that's it. Still, though, at least it's possible that the Lakers going all in could have it work out for them. At least it's possible.
Right.
As opposed to the Warriors going all in here. That's no.
Yeah, they're not that good still. I guess it'll be interesting.
I'm supremely thankful and grateful that they decided to be the team that jumped on the Jimmy grenade, but there's no way. I don't know what they're expecting to happen. Like, if I had to guess, the premise is simple enough to understand. You're just trying to get to the playoffs and then wait for playoff Jimmy to activate. But he's 35. Like,
how old is Curry?
I'm not sure. I'll check in a second. But, Jimmy's 35. The incredible run to the finals was 2 years ago. And one of the things with Jimmy is that, he's a trooper and he plays through injuries a lot, but he often ends up getting hurt too. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the Warriors just work as hard as they possibly can just to get to the play-in. And then the same thing that happened last year happens this year, where Jimmy gets hurt in the play-in game. And then it's over. Because they went all in on thinking that Curry and Jimmy together are enough for a championship. Steph is 36, and he's going to be 37 in a month. I didn't even know that. He really might be looking at retiring within the next few years.
Oh, yeah. He never indicated that he was one of those guys who wanted to play forever.
Well, the funny thing is I was doing research into Nico Harrison. I actually learned a lot about Curry in the process because Nico Harrison very famously had a legendary fuck-up. He was a Nike executive in charge of the pitch to Steph Curry, and Steph was already with Nike at the time. So what they were doing is that they were negotiating an extension to get him to continue staying with Nike, because by that time he wasn't making a ton with Nike. He wanted more. Because it's 2013, Steph has arrived, so, it's time for him to make more money. Nico Harrison was in charge of that presentation, that pitch to Steph, and he fucked it up so badly that Steph bailed and signed with Under Armour. And do you remember how bad the fuck up was? Because there was a little...
Not specifically, no.
Okay, during this fuck up, he accidentally called him Seth a number of times, and this is by Nico's own admission, by the way, so it's not like a rumor.
Right.
And he had a PowerPoint presentation established for just to show Steph what they had to offer him. And he accidentally confused Steph's presentation with Kevin Durant's presentation. So he accidentally showed Steph KD's presentation.
Oh.
And to top it all off, he didn't offer Curry a signature shoe.
I wonder if that's his mistake or Nike's mistake, though.
It could be either or, but I mean, it's Nike's mistake to send him to go do it, but I mean, good God. So the thing is, that convinced Curry to sign with Under Armour, and Under Armour was not anywhere near as, and obviously still isn't as big as Nike. But the thing is that Curry, he when he negotiated that deal with Under Armour, he said, "Now look, I'm obviously the biggest star that you guys have. So aside from the fact I want a shitload of money, I won't take as much as somebody like Nike would pay me, because in exchange I want equity with the company." And the contract that he has with Under Armour right now actually extends into his retirement.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
So between that and the fact that he's got equity in his company, or in the company, I'm pretty sure Curry's going to own Under Armour at some point within the next 20 years. Which would not surprise me at all.
Right.
The whole reason I bring all that up is, it makes it even more obvious Curry is going to be done soon. His financial future is completely set. He's good. For many years to come, he and his family won't have to worry about money ever again. So the only reason to keep playing is because he wants to keep playing. Realistically, they're probably just going all in for one more shot with Curry, and then after that he'll go over to the Hornets to fill his last season there. Let me check. Because he's going to be 37 in a month. And... okay. Curry actually signed an extension with the Warriors this year for one more season. So in the summer of 2027, he's going to be a free agent. So you've got this season and next season. Oh no, sorry. This season, next season, and then the season after that. And then 27, he'll be a free agent. So that's going to be 37 years, so 37, 38, 39. When he's 39, yeah. So in the summer of 2027, when he's an unrestricted free agent, he's almost guaranteed to sign with the Hornets at that point for his last season, because during that season is when he's going to turn 40.
Okay, it lines up pretty well then.
Either way, because this really does need to be said, Jimmy getting this extension with the Warriors, he's actually going to get paid more than Steph.
NBA is a weird sport sometimes.
Yes. Because, I mean, we were talking about resentment. We were talking about the possibility of, Jimmy getting into fights with people. I think that's a pretty done deal. He's getting paid more than Steph. Plus, he's himself. So, there's no way he's not going to end up ruffling feathers. Because he does it everywhere he goes.
So is Jimmy Butler like the modern day version of Shaq? Just kind of irritates everybody wherever he goes, and eventually things crash out with him?
I wouldn't want to compare him to Shaq, just by sheer virtue of the fact that, Shaq actually won. In terms of personality, probably. But I think that there'd probably be a better comparison to somebody else who's just like a gigantic diva that everybody hated, who
was good enough to still be a valuable player.
Latrell Sprewell.
That's not too bad.
Especially because a lot of people have come out with rumors about Jimmy getting into a fight with a coach, and so like, and Sprue fucking choked somebody. So
Damn it, every time I get in the car, the radio starts playing again.
I don't know about you, but I've been loving all the news coming out of all these different people who suddenly are pleading poverty out of nowhere.
In
And,
like,
and
Vouch, like Vouch.
yes,
Vosh, or whatever the fuck.
they've been leftist ideologues for years, and then all of a sudden they're like, I don't know, guys, I really need money, and you know, like things are falling apart, and blah blah. Blah. And it's all like, just how many fucking people were getting paid tax dollars to be mouthpieces for the government?
Apparently all of them.
Yeah, for real. Like, I am in genuine shock that Politico's entire company was being funded only by government funds. You know, and it definitely makes sense why they're freaking out just as much as they are right now. You know, they're having an absolute meltdown. Oh my god, this is horrible. Someone has to put a stop to this. What they're doing is fascism, and it's evil, and it's Nazism, and we got to put a stop to them. This is unconstitutional. How dare Elon Musk do all this crazy shit? And it's like, okay, so you were spending $45 million for trans sex change operations in Ethiopia, but none of them happened. You know, people are like, why are you spending so much money on something retarded? Well, that's because it's a slush fund. They don't actually spend any money on that, because that's stupid. It just gets diverted right into paying off Politico to fact check. Total bullshit.
Your business is appreciated.
I am not afraid to tell the truth. I'm a scientist.
I like this one. That's a good reaction to the trade. But yeah, I hadn't even thought about it until now, because you know, just immediate reactions to all the stuff that's happening. But it is definitely true that the Warriors gave up more for Jimmy than the Lakers gave up to get Luka.
Right. Yeah, that's pretty.
Worst trade of all time.
Worst trade since the Brooklyn Bridge for a pile of beads.
Does anyone read me? We need a
Worst trade since the Louisiana Purchase.
Some packages were dropped in your area. Sending you the coordinates now. We need you to grab the packages before the governor's men do.
You got it.
Honey. I found a reason for me. Did you, like, turn the brightness down on my monitor? I went to the bathroom, and when I got back, you were panting like you had just done something. And I think the brightness is, like, way lower than it was. Thank you, white man, for inventing the computer, penicillin, rule of law, freedom of speech. Hey, thank you for giving women the vote.
Got the first one.
Good work. One more to go. Carefully now.
I don't give a fuck about that.
Man, it's so hilarious.
Oh, yeah, I've seen the TF2 stuff, yeah.
Yeah, that. There's a hat in the game called the Medic's Mountain Cap, and the tagline for it is the men in his unit called him the Bavarian Butcher.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder which war that's referring to. What unit? These people are so insane, man.
I can't believe I found a fucking Harry Potter Trump meme that's straight out of like 2017 or something. Like, how did they not get newer material in the last couple years?
Yeah, I'm surprised that those people are still there because I thought you were supposed to abandon Harry Potter because
Yeah.
transphobia and stuff. Okay, I'm gonna leave at 7:45, I think.
Sounds good to me. I feel bad having to kill all these animals when I play this game, but if I don't kill them, they kill me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be happy that I took someone's life, but I am going to be happy that I defended myself.
Exactly. It's a self-defense situation. No. You're outside those animals' apartment, 3 a.m. You gotta defend yourself.
What would you say is your favorite Sam Hyde bit of all time?
Probably,
And that's the last one. What's in these?
after he won the boxing match when he called out Aston Piker. It didn't last for very long, but it was one of the funniest moments I've ever seen. Do you have anyone you want to call out in the heavyweight division? Oh, you know it, lad. You know it, Aston Piker. Aston Piker, I'm coming to kill you.
What is this? Help me, Dr. Zaius.
Well, here are your packages.
Thank you. The Golden Path continues to be in your debt. I'll let the people in charge know what you've done for us.
Oh, you can skin an elephant. Okay.
I will sever your head!
Hell yeah, dude, I love that the vice president is a shit poster. This is one of the best things about what I voted for. JD Vance on Twitter, he goes in quotes, "No one voted for Elon Musk. They did, however, vote for Donald Trump, who promised repeatedly to have Elon Musk root out wasteful spending in the government."
I saw that, yeah.
Exactly.
Really not a hard concept, I don't think.
It's the stupidest fucking thing. It's like, I don't understand why this is the left's tactic right now, where they're trying so hard to come up with this idea of, look at all the Trump voter buyer's remorse that's going on, and then pretending like people voted for Trump not knowing what they were going to get. The most televised human being on the planet. And you're going to say you didn't know what you were going to get with him.
If you do have buyer's remorse, then you're very stupid.
Yeah, like, I wasn't sure if he was serious. You know, I hope he wasn't, but he probably was. But, you know, Nicholas said that he was having some buyer's remorse because he thought it was classless when Trump said that the crash was probably because of diversity. And he said that, like, hours after the crash occurred.
Right.
And I'm like, you know, worst case is the situation if he's out of line, but he's right, because he was exactly correct. It was a lesbian pilot who worked for the fucking Biden administration and had almost no flight experience at all. So on Biden's way out, he's like, okay, here, you know, in exchange for all the good work that you did, here's a job being a pilot, and oh, oops, yeah, she killed somebody, good job. Plus, what it makes me think of is, you know, the really famous Trump meme you're telling me now for the first time.
Right.
Because if I remember right, that was after Ruth Bader Ginsburg died, and someone in the media, you know, hours after it had been announced, someone in the media was like, "Did you hear that Justice Ginsburg died?" And he was like, "Wow, you're telling me now for the first time."
Yeah, correct.
It's all like you'd figure that the President of the United States would have more up-to-date information than the news media and, you know, average people. So when it's a couple of hours after the crash and it was a military helicopter that crashed in the plane, the odds are really good that the president had already been informed of, like, the flight log to know who was actually flying the helicopter. At which point he's all like, oh look, a lesbian pilot that worked for the Biden administration that had only a couple hundred hours of flight experience. I think we know what to chalk this one up to.
And, you know, some of it is trying to protect your own reputation, right? Because people immediately started blaming him for gutting the FAA or whatever. You know, you've got to be able to respond to that.
Right.
I don't know. I don't have a big problem with it personally. I guess I can see why someone would.
Right. You know, like, I don't have a problem with it either, but that's because my heart has been hardened to this crap because of everything that they've been doing for my entire life. You know? And especially since Donald Trump first ran for president, and how things have been going since then, I'm all like, look, the pity that I have for these is long since past, is long since run out. And as if all that shit isn't enough, again, he was right. You know? You might have something to stand on if he was wrong. And it's all like, how the fuck could you sit there and say that it was diversity when it was actually a straight white Christian male pilot who crashed in the thing? But that's not what happened at all. So why even get mad? He was right. Not only that, but he blamed diversity. You know, he blamed DEI for the reason for the crash. He didn't say, oh, the pilot was a retarded woman. No, he said it was the fault of DEI because he's putting the blame at the hiring practices. Because that, you know, the woman who was responsible for the crash and flew into the plane is just as much of a victim here as the people that she flew into. Because she had no business flying that helicopter.
I still find the idea hilarious that Elon's raiding the treasury with fucking a bunch of Zoomers.
Right down to the broccoli haircut.
Shit!
They told me you captured another outpost. Keep going like that, and you might give Fagin something to worry about.
My only regret is that they have broccoli haircuts instead of mushroom haircuts. This could have been a team of Frigma males.
Hey, Batamiz. I need a drink. It's a miracle.
People who purport to be very well educated believe that Elon Musk is wearing a Hamburglar costume and driving up a gigantic dump truck to the treasury and filling it up with gold coins and driving away.
Filling up stacks with cartoon dollar signs printed on it. Oh man, that is really funny. Really funny.
I owe you my life. Bless you.
Yeah, it's really scary to think about the feature that we just narrowly avoided. Because if Kamala had actually won, keep in mind that Keir Starmer's what's the name of that party? Labour. The Labour government over there in the United Kingdom threatened U.S. citizens who were, you know, making fun of their draconian free speech stuff with, you're saying hate speech online, we will prosecute you, which, you know, obviously can't happen without the cooperation and consent of the U.S. government, which almost certainly would have happened because all the people making fun of them were right-wingers. So, you know, between that and the fact that Doge is uncovering that we fund a shitload of the BBC over there, we send them a shitload of money. But that is the state-ran media organization in the United Kingdom. It is literally the state press. And the United States government is sending the money, and it's like, how do you want to bet that that's the only money that the government had been sending them? The government was probably sending them a lot more stuff. So yeah, Kamala's government absolutely would have rubber-stamped arrest warrants on right-wingers making fun of the UK. Oh man. We'd probably be going to jail right now for liking Barry Stanton posts.
Right. I'd be very interested to see what approval rating numbers look like right now, actually. Because if there is buyer's remorse, it should show up there.
Yeah, something tells me that it's going to be the same thing that it always is, where we're going to hear a hell of a lot about how his approval rating has dropped substantially, but it's going to be like MSNBC doing the poll, and they're like, we decided to ask 70% Democrat for this poll. Jesus. Yeah, like at this point, you know, this has got to be the most pleased with a vote that anyone who's even remotely right of center has ever felt.
It's Calvin Coolidge.
I saw a good one the other day where somebody said that Trump right now is what boomers think Ronald Reagan was in terms of the nostalgia that they have for him.
Yeah, not bad. John Fetterman actually voted for Pam Bondi. He must be just trying to piss people off now.
Yeah, I saw that. It was great. The real test, I think, though, is going to be, let's see how he votes on RFK.
Yeah, that vote should be coming up in like a day or two.
Yeah, tomorrow, because I'm not gonna go to the gym tomorrow, should be much, I'll stay for much longer than, on Friday. On Friday, I'll go to the gym again, but then 2 rest days.
Okay.
So, yeah, just go on Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
I'm definitely going to the gym tomorrow, personally.
Yeah. Now, what's going to be crazy, though, is once I start going back to Amazon, because I'm going to transfer back to my old facility as fast as I can. But there's going to be a short time period while I have to be at another place, because that's the place that I actually got hired at, because they were hiring people to be blue badges again. And it's important to be a blue badge because that means you have all of the privileges that an Amazon employee has. You can transfer anywhere you want as long as there's an opening, and you get access to benefits like medical, dental insurance. So I'm like, I want to make sure that I have that. I might stay there because it's $1.50 more than my old facility, plus 5 more hours a week. So it's a lot more money. But it just depends on how I'm feeling, because it's a longer drive, and it's going to wreck my schedule too, because I'm like, I have no idea what it's going to be like commuting there.
Alright, well, whatever needs to happen has to happen. It's
Yeah.
obviously more important that you start making
Yes.
money.
Yes. So that starts on near the end of the month, the 22nd. Yeah, the 22nd. So once that goes down, I'll let you know how things are looking.
See this balloon? You don't get this.
You know what I really enjoy is when Trump was president last time, and he wanted to do stuff, and want monsters in the government constantly stymieing him, saying you can't do that, you can't do this, and then all the leftists and in the public being like, that's not how executive power works, you can't do this, it's unconstitutional. And then Biden takes office and day one starts doing all those different things that they said executive power doesn't work that way, that's unconstitutional, you're not allowed to do this, blah blah blah. Because they understood you can just do things. So Trump learns that lesson. He comes in office now, and he's like, well, if you can just do things, we're just going to do things. And they're like, no, you're not supposed to.
Really is that simple. Like, to the people complaining about what he's doing, think about how impotent their attempts have been to stop him. Like, there's, like, it really does highlight there's not anything you can do.
Right. And what's even more is that it slowly gets progressively more impotent as time goes on, because he's continuing to go after the money.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I'm glad he's doing that.
Did you see Chuck Schumer try to start a mosh pit outside Capitol Hill or whatever earlier today, basically?
I did not. That sounds hilarious.
Alright. Let me see if I can find it here. I don't know if that's the whole thing or not, but he gets into it.
Jesus. The impotent rage.
Why does that guy carry a pimp cane everywhere, by the way? Al Green or whatever the fuck his name is? He's always got a pimp cane with him.
That's because it is exactly what you described it as. The Democrat Party is a series of prostitutes, and Al Green is quite literally a pimp.
He's the guy who tries to introduce the articles of impeachment on Trump like every 3 days or something. And of course, his attempts never go anywhere. Like last time he tried to impeach Trump for calling Colin Kaepernick a son of a bitch.
That was peak. Ugh. Alright, I am going to head out now. Because I just gotta get ready. I'm hoping to leave the house at 7:45.
Sounds good to me. I'm going to play for a few more minutes, and then I am going to go do something else the rest of the night.
No problem. Keep in mind I'm supremely not busy when I'm at work, so I'll, like, DM you stuff, but I know when you're streaming Demon Souls that you're away from being able to interact with your Discord.
Right.
So just, like, once the stream finishes kind of a deal.
Sounds good to me.
Alright, so I hope it's a good stream. You enjoy playing Demon Souls and take it easy.
Finally with a controller that works, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm surprised that Sony has, like, that's a huge issue with, but it's not just them, because like I was telling you, I had the exact same problem on my Series X. That USB port that they put in the console sucks.
Yep.
So yeah, take it easy.
Nicely done, Ajay. Keep this up and we'll be broadcasting across the whole region soon and saving them from Pagan Min's lies.
Okay, we gotta get up one level onto that little... Oh, you can shoot grenades at them. Okay. Come on.
Kirat. This is Rabi Ray Rana, and you're listening to Radio Free Kirat. Let's hear some tunes. OMG, Ajay Gale. Bhaiyo, Bhaijan, I would like to shake your hand. I have been keeping an eye on you. You are doing really good work.
So you're the guy on the radio.
Yeah, that's me. The voice of Radio Free Kirat, Rabbi Ray Rana. Look, you fight with your brawn, but I fight with my words. And you know the old saying, the pen is mightier than the sword. I mean, after all, I'm like a Rush Limbaugh, but with soul and a conscience. Besides, the more people I turn away from Bagan, the less people you have to fight.
I can't argue with that.
Still, there's only so much I can do from here. I spread the truth, and I take the liars down a peg, but someone needs to get their hands dirty. And come on, look at me and Chotu. I mean, Chotu's dirty, but it's not like we can mess people up. The only guns we use are water guns, and come on, man, that's why I have this radio show. You have the broad shoulders and biceps to take down evil. You've been tearing down propaganda posters, which is great, but Bagan's propaganda machine is kicking it up a notch in response. His men are setting up temporary propaganda centers, and those places are churning out the bullshit 24/7, yaar.
So what do we do?
You see all this hardware? I built it myself, man. I mean, you think Chotu helps? Come on, look at the guy. He's got body and mind dyslexia. The dude is practically worthless. I use this stuff to monitor Royal Army radio channels, and I've managed to locate one of these centers.
And you want me to put it out of commission?
Hearts and minds, Ajay. Hearts and minds. We can't have Bagan contaminating the population with all his bullshit.
And this will stop the propaganda?
No way, not even close, but don't worry. I'll track down the new propaganda centers whenever they appear, and then I'll relay the details to you. Meanwhile, you should go do what you do best. Go fuck up those members, man. Take out that first center. Oh shit, I gotta go back. Hey, thank you so much for coming. Hey, Chotu, make him some chai. Bhai, chai banao, bhai. Sorry, this is not a first-class hotel, but we do what we can. Are you hot? Should we turn on the AC? Chotu, AC ko lagao, bhai. Sorry, it's really hot in here. It's like a hot box, man. It feels like Guantanamo Bay up in here. It's so great meeting you, man. Hey, we are back. You are tuned into Radio Free Kirat with Rabbi Ray Rana. We've had some questions from our loyal listeners. This is coming from,
Alright, guys. I'm gonna hop off a little later. I'll be on Demon Souls.